What's up, everyone? I am going live. Hope everyone is. Oops, let me switch one more screen.
Recording in progress. Recording stopped.
Alrighty, what's up? What's up? I am going live on a few different platforms as well too. Let me go and ask Coach anything. June 30th. People are flowing in right now. Hello, hello, everyone. Hope everyone is doing awesome so far. Let me tilt my angle, tilt the camera down a little bit. Oh. All righty. Okay, I think we are good. Let's go live in 3, 2, 1. All right, what's up? What's up, everyone? Hope everyone is doing awesome so far here today. I'm going to try to go a little live on a few different more platforms. How do I go live on this one over here? I cannot go live. There we go. If you guys are joining me on Facebook, hello, hello. Hope everyone's doing awesome so far here today. The final day of June, we're going live. I'm just gonna go on all the different platforms as well, making sure things are good to go. Fantastic, fantastic. Can everybody see me, hear me okay? Audio is good. We're going live on a few different platforms as well too. Going live on Twitch, on YouTube, on Facebook, on TikTok, on Instagram as well too. Welcome, welcome. Let's go ahead and get started in 3, 2, 1. What's up, everyone? Coach Tony here with egelloC. Our goal is to help you guys. We kind of work backwards. egelloC is the word college. Backwards, we work backwards to get you guys to your top choice colleges. If it's our very first time meeting, my name is Coach Tony, former UC Berkeley admissions reader, former UCLA director. Actually, still technically not former, current founder of a high school as well. So pretty much these calls, I'm here, I'm live. If anyone has any questions, feel free to drop in, say hello as well. I did get a few questions ahead of time, so I'm going to share my screen really quick so you guys can see what I see as well. So we had a few kind of pre-recorded questions. If anyone has any questions anywhere, feel free to get and chat it in the chat. But I found a few questions in case you guys want to join these. We're probably making it a weekly thing. We've been doing this our third, fourth week, I think, doing this. It's been a very, very awesome reception so far. So we might keep doing this as well. So I am sharing my screen for those who are live on one. Can you guys see it? People say a little bigger. There you go. Fantastic. Cool. So let's go ahead and get started. Jump straight into the Q&A itself. All right. So again, in case you guys want to ask questions now in the future, just go to egelloc.com/askcoachtony and we can help you guys answer some questions as well too. Okay. So first question we have here today is how many schools should I be applying to? So I'm assuming this is a question for like students applying to how many colleges, right? How many colleges you can apply to as well too. So the question answer here is there's no set number, right? Set number. Typically we see students apply to 10, 15 colleges is pretty much what it is. There's 3 types of schools you want to apply to. There's the reach schools, there's the target schools, and then there's the safety schools as well. So you want to have like a mix of all 3, right? Mix of 1, mix of 2, mix of 3 as well too. That's pretty much a good gauge of how to do this. So how do you know a school is a reach, target, safety school as well too? There's a few factors, but at a high level, if you want to go ahead and take your GPA number, right, and compare it with the school's average is kind of what you want to do, right? And a few things will happen here, right? If right? Condition one, if your GPA is greater, right, than the school's average, then that's probably a safety school for you as well too. So if you look up, you have a 3.9, the school's average is a 3.2. Again, yours is higher mathematically, then it's going to be a safety school for you guys there. If your GPA is equivalent to the school's average, then that's usually a target school for you. And if your GPA is less than the school's average, or if the acceptance rate is 20% or less, that's going to be a reach school for you guys as well too. All right, so that's going to be the general kind of framework to think about. Again, would I recommend only applying to reach schools? Probably not as well too. That's kind of a little living life on the edge right there, right? Have a good mix of all three. There's actually no limit though. You could apply to as many schools as you wanted to. We had a student this past year. Here's a fun fact for everyone. Fun fact, we had a student who applied to 47 colleges with us this past year, class of 2025 as well too. I do not recommend applying to 47 schools as well too. You can imagine that many schools multiplied out is that many essays you have to write as well too. So again, that's pretty much the number. But again, no real set number is a thing. 10, 15 is usually what we see a lot. Okay, cool. One question down. So again, if you guys are joining me right now, we're just doing Q&A right now. If you have any questions, drop it in the chat wherever you guys are from. I'm going live on a few different platforms. We're live on Facebook. We're live on YouTube. We're live on Twitch. We're live on Instagram. We're live on TikTok. If you guys want to drop by a question, I found a few, but feel free to drop questions. We can answer it live as well too. Okay, so next thing, someone asks, what are the best science classes to take as a junior if you want to have a career in the medical field as well too? So this one's like maybe aspiring doctor, aspiring researcher as well. So in terms of the sciences for this, right, like basically you're looking to enter the biological sciences. It sounds like the biological sciences. So pretty much the classes that you're looking to do is like AP biology, AP chemistry, AP environmental sciences, and that's pretty much a good set there as well too. Could you take physics? You could, right? Could take physics, but physics is pretty much like more of a physical science, is more for like the engineering students. For those who are interested in engineering, that's probably a better fit for you if you go in that direction. But again, if you're a bio-related student, medical-related student, I would lean towards AP Bio, AP Chem, AP Environmental Sciences is going to be the recommendations for you guys over here. Okay, so that's pretty straightforward, right? And as a junior, yes, take whatever class you're missing is a thing. The other thing to keep in mind also, in addition to this, the plus is math. Math is going to be a really big component as well too. For students who are interested in the medical field, you want to aim to get to at least, right? At least calculus BC, if not higher. So if you can get to Calc 3, that'd be even better as well too, but at least to BC. So kind of just work backwards and like, how do I do it? And for those like, oh no, I can't make it in time, there's not enough classes, right? Don't forget, pro tip here is don't forget next summer, right? You still have one summer in between. So if like you're like 2 classes short, you can take one class now, take one class in the summer to take that class in the senior year itself as well. So that's gonna be another option for you guys over here. Okay, so that's gonna be the second one, best biological sciences. Moving on, next question here. Someone asks, should I play varsity basketball, which I don't want to do, or do the musical, which I do want to do? Which one will look better? Put quotes, right? Which one will look better on my college application? So number one tip to this student and anyone kind of vibing with the same question, right? Number one tip, right? Do not do anything solely for the college application, right? It's kind of the big rule of thumb. You're going to hate it as well too. You're not going to enjoy your experience. And what if you go, right? What if you go to, if you don't make it to college, right, then it's gonna be super duper hard as well too. So I think, don't do anything for the sake of college applications. The second one tip here is do things you like things you like slash enjoy to do is going to be the key. Okay, so definitely do the things you like and enjoy to do is going to be the key, because at the end of the day, the college doesn't really care what you do, right? Colleges focus on why you do it, is the key over here. Okay, so that's why the thing. So this student, I would say, let's look into the musical route for you for this student. It sounds like they clearly like that way more than the other thing as well, right? And keep in mind, this is not the only thing you should be doing when it comes to the only thing you do when it comes to the activities, right? Activities should consists of two parts. The first part is going to be your the things you enjoy, right? And the second one is going to be tasting your major, right? So in addition to these two things, right, these things, you also want to do things that you enjoy to do. Do things that you were interested in your major. So if you're interested in the medical field, doing things related in the medical field. If you're interested in engineering, do things related to engineering. Whatever it ends up being, that's kind of what you want to focus on as well too. Okay, those are the two things over here. We have a pretty cool comment. Jada, if you are still here on TikTok, I'll take a screenshot of your thing really fast. Over on TikTok, we're going live. For those who are watching here, famous, we're going live on TikTok as well too. One of the comments that came in was, "Oh my God, I remember watching your videos in high school, and next year I graduate from my dream school." Jada, if you are here, let me know what school you are at as well. Okay, so that's gonna be the next question over here. And moving on as well. Again, we are going live. Those who are, again, on a lot of different platforms. We're live on TikTok, Instagram. Over here, I got Facebook group. Over here, I got YouTube. Over here, I got Twitch. So I got pretty much a lot of different platforms. If you guys have any questions, again, drop in the chat as well too. We're doing some live Q&A. Here's a fun live question in the chat. I'll throw in here as well as from Facebook, right? From Facebook as well too. My child could have, just go up so you guys can see what I'm seeing. Right? My child could have her the California egelloC done the summer after she graduates high school. She has 2 classes left. If she passes all her APs, will she be considered a transfer or a first year? It's a great question as well too. So basically what this family is doing is they're doing dual enrollment, right? Dual enrollment is basically taking college level courses, right, as a high school student. And typically, it's like at the community college. That's what this person is doing. They're taking, like, they're getting their associates and their egelloC, the egelloC. They're rebranding it to the word egelloC, right? Right now it's called egelloC. So we're moving to egelloC very soon. The idea is you can take college level courses. So, right, if she has two classes, if she passes her APs, will she be considered a transfer or a first year, right? So you are a transfer if you graduate from high school, take a college class, then apply. In that order, specifically in that order. You graduate from high school first, you take a college class, then you apply, right? You are a first year if you haven't graduated from high school yet, or you haven't taken a college class after you graduated from high school. These are the two conditions, right? So first off, first one is your transfers. Let's say I'm assuming incoming 12th grader right now. So I'm going to go through this whole year in 2026, right? A year from now, I'm going to go and take a class at my local community college that summer just to finish. I didn't apply to college. I didn't do anything. I took a class. Then I'm going to apply afterwards. Then you are a transfer student, okay? But let's say I'm a high school senior upcoming right now, and then I have a lot of college units, but I'm applying right now as well too, right? I'm going to be applying as a first year. And the other condition is, let's say you take a gap year. Right? That's kind of what the number 2 is. You take a gap year, you take a classes, and then you don't take any college classes in between this year and next year, and you reapply as a first year. You apply as a first year, and that will be the condition over here. So that's kind of what the scenario is, by the way. By the way, if you're taking, you getting your AA and doing APs, you're doing double work. That's what I will tell this family as well too. If you're able to get the AA, you should be able to double dip most of your APs into college. You kind of 2 birds, 1 stone kind of concept as well too. Okay, great question though. All right. Um, cool, cool. All right, moving on. Next one. Good segue as well too. How does transferring work? What requirements do I need? Where do I start? Where do I start to look is the thing, right? So how transferring works. So let's look at it first. Let's first consider the first year pathway, right? So let's say for those, the traditional pathway, if you're going from high school straight to college, right? There's high school, then you go to college year 1, then you go to year 2, then you go year 3, then you go year 4, then you graduate, right? That's the traditional 4-year kind of pathway from post 12th grade all the way to 4-year schools. If you're doing transfer, right, you are taking classes, for example, at a community college your first 2 years. So the pathway is going to be high school. Actually, let me be clear. This is a 4-year college, right? But this one is going to be community college year 1. This would be community college year 2. And then you apply that year, and then you transfer to 4-year, year 3, 4-year, year 4. And then you graduate after that. Okay, so that's to be the pathway. If you go to the transfer route itself, you go from high school, community college, 4-year, 4-year. You're applying, right? You're applying as a transfer in your second year, right? Your second year of community college, and here. The question is, can you apply? Another fun question that usually comes up is, can I apply as a 4-year to 4-year student, right? You could, right? You could transfer from 4-year to 4-year. However, it is very hard to do as well too. So if you do 4-year to 4-year, is doable, but super, super hard to do. The reason why is the transfers all kind of read the same. So if you're going to be transferring to 2-year or 4-year, one of them is going to get the spots. So again, 4-year, you could stay, you could graduate in 4 years at your same school. This 2-year student can't go anywhere else. So basically, do I say no to them and say yes to you to transfer over? That's kind of the big question to think about when it comes to this here. Okay, so that's going to be that. Okay, next thing. Next question, checking if there's any new questions as well too in the YouTubes, in the Twitches as well. People on YouTube, welcome people on YouTube. You guys have any questions, go ahead and drop in the chat as well too there. We had a follow-up to our previous question, as well too. So the follow-up question was, if she uses APs to meet your CalGETC, AA, will you accept those even though scores are below what the school accept for credit are not available for credit like research or seminar? I'm trying to think what you're trying to ask in this question. So playing it out, I'm assuming your schedule, so I'm assuming a few things, right? Assuming you have some AP credits plus AA like college courses, right? Is pretty much what I'm assuming you have on your thing here. So your question is, can you use the AP credits, like you got a high enough score, like a 4 or 5, to meet the iGETC or the CalGETC requirements as well too? That's the option 1. And then if that will be low, what school accepts for credit. So I would double check. So this is definitely a thing, as double check with the colleges to ensure this, right? So the reason why is that every school is going to treat a little different. That's something, this is why you realize that like some schools, hey, you get a 3 on this exam, you're good to go. Some schools, you need a 4 or even a 5 to actually get the college credit. So it's different per school. That's why, like in your case, not sure we double did, because like your AP classes were a full year, so like a side lesson, right? Side lesson here, right? So if you did the APs, right? APs is a full year long class with an AP exam to get college credit if you have a high enough score. A college level course is half a year long with guaranteed college credits. So usually when students do the CalGETC AA degree, I tell them just go straight. Like if your school allows you to do that, because to get AA, that's 60 units, a lot of units, right? So they'll let you go straight to the college and take as many as you can over there is the key. So I'm not sure, again, probably some interesting situation that you guys are going through. But again, the biggest question is double check, right? Double check, because maybe the community college is okay with it, but the 4-year may not be okay with that as well too. So double check both is the thing. Either way, either way, that's not what admissions is kind of worried too much about. I focus on the rigor. You're taking the AP, you're doing the college level, the rigor is there. That's all I care about. And that's the big thing, right? People focus too much on the wrong things. Then you're like, oh no, but it's like, no, it's not too bad. It's like, and you're doing both, both rigored courses. So that's gonna be a key for you guys here. Okay, so that's that. Moving on, next one. When and should I be taking the SAT next year as well too? Or does that mean I should start preparing? This is a class of 2028 students, so that means they are an incoming sophomore, right? So an incoming sophomore right now. So in terms of should I take the SAT next year, the question is not yet, right? So if you're a sophomore, timeline-wise, typically 9th grade, do nothing. And by the way, keep in mind, our strategy is based on getting a competitive score, knowing that a lot of schools you apply to are going to be optional, and some of them might be required, right? So 9th grade, nothing. Don't worry about it. There's other things that are more important, such as your activities. Focus more on that. In 10th grade, right, most schools offer a PSAT, right, or a PSAT at your school, right? I would recommend don't study and take, right? Don't study for that exam, just take it. I want to know your raw score, what your raw score would be if you took it live as well too, right? So you get a score. Based on this score, a few kind of pathways, right? So first one, if your PSAT is really high, like unnormally high, abnormally high, like a 1500 plus, right? I would study and take the SAT right away, because in your brain, you're smart, get over with, you're done, right? Is the first one. That's very, 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 very rare. Now, most people are not this, right? The next batch, which is still very small, is if PSAT is high, right? So I would say 1450 plus, right? Then I would say, cool, right? Let's study for the PSAT 11, the one you take in 11th grade as well too. I'll explain why in a little bit. And then if you're most people, if PSAT is okay, right? Not 1400, less than 1450 as well too. Cool. We'll just take the PSAT as practice again. Is kind of the key, right? So basically, you're not gonna focus too hard on the PSAT again. That'll be the plan here. Okay. Now going over to 11th grade now, right? 11th grade PSAT 11. This is important. If you do well, right, you could qualify for national merit, which is potentially full ride scholarship as well too. But you need to be scoring like top 1% of the state. For those of you in like California, that's like 152, 153. Uber high score to hit is pretty much it. And every state is like roughly around the high 140s, the 150 as well too, right? Keeping that in mind. So from a strategic point of view, the only reason why you want to study is if you're close to get there. Let's say you're at like 1200. Could you get that high? Of course, it's a standardized test. There's no trick questions. It's all the repetition, right? So you do a practice test, you're good. The issue, though, is that it takes time to get there, right? And in the world of college admissions, it's all about time. You got to figure out where to spend your time. And this is not worth your time if you're not scoring high enough already, which means I just say, again, if not, all right, just take it as a practice test and don't study, treat it and see how high you did without studying both times, right? Hopefully your score went up a little bit as well too, right? That's number one. If you did study hard, do really the best you can. It's like a one-shot kind of thing as well. That being said, right, you will also SAT, ACT, in 11th grade, that's when you take the actual ST and ACT. There's a few conditions, there's a few if-thens here as well too, right, for the SAT, ACT. First one is, it depends what your school list is. Let's say you're applying to test required schools, right? Meaning the Ivies are test required. Most of them, well, Columbia is test optional, but most of the schools are test required. They need you to take a test score. Another one is like Stanford. Stanford is test required, means you must take it. Then you want to take it, right? Then you want to take it at least twice, I would say, once in March or April, and another one in May, June, right? Study, that's a good time. Take around 8 weeks. We typically have 8-week study sessions for our students. 8 weeks, right? Enough to cram to do the best you can. That's it. Don't feel like you have to spend months and months and months. It's not like the old days when we want students to get over like 50 and 50 for everything. No. It's important, but is it absolutely important? No. We interviewed a bunch of our students on YouTube. If you guys want to check that out after this call. A lot of our students didn't get over 1,500 and it still made it to the Ivies as well too. So keep in mind, do you absolutely need it? No, right? Does it help? Sure, it helps, right? But again, it's all about time game. If you spend hours here, you can't spend hours on areas that are more important, which is the activities for you guys, okay? That's option one. Second scenario is test blind schools, right? So the most popular test blind school is the UC system, UCLA, UC Berkeley, the Cal State schools. They're all test blind. They do not care what score you have, perfect score, zero score. They won't even let you submit it, is how it is. So they do not care. If you're applying test blind school, skip this altogether. Ignore it, close that chapter, move on, focus on other things that are more important than this, right? The UCs are going to be test blind at least into 2028, and then they'll make a decision if they want to continue it. My belief on the record is they are going to stay this way afterwards as well too. That's kind of my prediction is there. A lot behind the scenes politics is why. So that's that, right? Is this, and the last scenario, which is the most like biggest group of colleges, is test optional. Right? So when it comes to test optional, here's kind of our strategy has been working for a lot of our students, is if you are applying to a test optional school, again, go back, right? The reason why you had study is I want to see what your score is, right? Depending on what your score is, I would want to see, right? Can we study and get within the 50th percentile of the college average as well too? So if you look up like any school, USC, 50th percentile SAT, you want to see what that range is for them, for the SAT. If you can get within that range, go for it, right? If you can get within that range, go for it, study for it, increase your scores. If you study hard for 2 months, 3 months, and you probably won't make it to that point, skip it. It's not worth it either. Skip it. Focus on other areas that are more important, right? As a general rule of thumb, you can roughly cram and increase by 100 points per month. So if you like maybe 200 points off for like 2 months, you can probably get there. As well, it does get harder the higher you get. Like if you had a 1400, it is exponentially harder to get from a 14 to a 15 than it is from a 12 to a 14. Keep that in mind as well too. But typically 100-ish points per month is what you want to do for, and aim to be within that range, and you should be fine. There's other areas that are more important. Okay, so that being said, I think that's the question, when and should I? So that's the question there. And it's your prepping. If you're 2028 incoming 10th grader, no, you're gonna be taking the PSD in October. In October as well too. So be on the lookout for that exam, but nothing crazy from there. Okay, so that's gonna be the SAT. Cool. All right, people who are joining me right now on all the platforms, we're going live on a bunch of different places, however you guys consume us as well too. We're live on Facebook, we're live on YouTube right now. If people at YouTube, someone had a question on YouTube. Let me go ahead and drop that in the chat. We'll do that next as well too, right? We're live on YouTube, we're live on Twitchers, so we're live on Twitch over there. We're live on the TikTok right here, on the Instagram over here. What's up, friends? As well, if you guys have questions, go ahead and drop in the chat as well too. But question that came in through YouTube, shout out to YouTube as well. UC app in one club for 4 years, another club for 3 years. Leaderships positions in both at least 1 or more years. How can we utilize the 2 clubs for more than 2 activity slots? How? An example. Good question. So basically what this student is referring to is that for the UC application, they give you 20 slots of activities to fill up, right? Our strategy is aim to fill up as much as you can. So as much of the 20 slots as you can, try to fill all up, makes you look more full. It's kind of the logic behind that, which is why I tell students, hey, anything that's small, share it. Let the readers, again, don't think there's nothing that's too big, too small on the app. Include it. Let the readers decide, right? Little fun fact as well here, right? Everything is either going to add value to your application or neutral value. Nothing you can say can hurt you on the UC app. Just a heads up. I can't spell as well too, right? So if it's not that important, they're just gonna be like, all right, cool, thanks for letting me know, and then they're gonna ignore it or not include it in the whatever. But if it is important, they are going to go ahead and include it as well too. So keeping that in mind, okay? So that's gonna be the big one here. So going back, so how do you share? So the person's asking, hey, I did one thing, how do I talk about it in two different like slots as well too? So keep in mind for the UC, right, for the UC activity section, there's 6 categories. 6 categories you classify every activity under. Let's see, I remember them. There's extracurricular activities, the very big one. There's awards or honors. There is educational prep programs. There are volunteering and community service. There is a work experience. There's outside coursework. 1, 4, 6. Those are the 6, right? So these are the 6 things that you can you have to classify every activity you do under one of these 6 things, okay? So that being said, so the question is, how do I put something in 2 different categories? It needs to fit under 2 different categories over here, okay? So for example, I want to not make one up, but say something, right? So let's say, for example, you are part of Key Club. A lot of people know what Key Club is as well. So Key Club is like a volunteering organization, right? So Key Club is number 1. Let's say, in addition to Key Club, I'm trying to do 3 right now, right? Key Club is the club you run, you're the president of the Key Club itself, right? It's number 1. Number 2 is the Key Club has something called DCON, District Convention, where they all come and they all have fun and they all meet and stuff too. Let's say they have a competition, right? At the DCON that you went to and you won. You won first place in whatever that conference thing is, right? Is number 2. And because Key Club, you do a lot of volunteering work, you can talk about as a community service. So I could put under Key Club, right? Key Club extracurriculars and talk about like running the club at the school as the president, right? As the president as well too. That's one thing. Then you can talk about Key Club in the sense of an award, in the sense of winning something at DCON, right? Is number 2. And then number 3, move it up. And last one, Key Club, you can talk about volunteering and talk about the service projects, right, that I worked on, because these are different topics per se, right? It is the thing. So that's why it's different things. One's about my club, only the club, leading the club, managing the club. The other one is about volunteering and doing the service project itself. And this one's about winning an award that I did by myself as well too. So there are 3 separate things under the same bucket, the same umbrella of activities as well too. So something for you guys to consider. That's one way to do it. Again, you could have the different descriptions for each one as well too. Try not to double dip so much. So like, oh, that's the same thing is the key here. Okay, so that's gonna be the answer to that question over here. Let me see. Papa, any more questions that came in? No more. All right, back in schedule again. Really quick, yes, enjoying these Q&A in the chat. Drop a yes in the chat wherever you're joining me from, YouTube or Facebook or Twitch or TikTok or Instagram. Drop a quick yes if that is useful. If this call is useful for you guys. You guys are enjoying it. Coach Tony, do more. If not, I can enjoy my Mondays again as well. Awesome. A few yeses come in. I'm neglecting there's Zoom here too. Zoom folks are here. Let me say hi to the Zoom folks as well. Zoom folks has questions. My bad, Zoom folks as well too. All right, so here's a good question from Zoom. So over here, Zoom says, why do I need essays if UCs use PIQ, peak, PIQs, and Cal States use GPA and don't require. Good question as well too. So let me clarify real fast for those who are applying to UCs and Cal State schools, right? So for both schools, right? So UCs and CSU colleges, what they do is they're gonna go ahead and they're gonna try to unbold. There you go. They both look for personal information. So that's the first one. Hopefully you guys know who you are. That's the first part of the app. The app is just asking about who you are, families, and all that stuff as well too. That's the first one. Second one, they will ask you for academic information, right? What high school did you go to? What classes did you take? What grades did you get? Did you go to college? What college did you go to? What class did you take? What grades did you get? That's the same for both, okay? Keep in mind they'll take classes and grades, right? Is the next one. Keep in mind GPA is important to a certain extent, not exactly focus more on the grades and the classes is the thing, because again, you want to focus on the rigor, right? Rigor of the schedule, right? More AP level courses is the key, right? They both don't have test scores, so both do not ask for SAT, ACT, do not give it to them as well too, is the thing, right? And that's it for Cal States, by the way. For Cal States, that is it. Your app is very straightforward. You plug all that in, click submit. There's no section for activities. They just ask you, did you do activities? You said yes as well too. No essays for the Cal States either. It's a very straightforward application itself, right? Now, right, this is a UC only. So UC will have 20 activity section, right? The activity is 20 slots. I mentioned earlier, there's 20 slots of activities that you can share as well too, spread over 6 different categories, right? And the UC also asks for 4 personal insight questions, right? Personal insight questions. That's what the PIQs are. PIQs as well, right? So basically these are the 4 UC essay questions. If you guys were here last week, little spoilers scrolling up to last week for those who were here last week. Last week I actually did a breakdown of the entire UC PIQs. Where is it? Exactly how to do them step by step. There you go. How to do the strategy, how to pick them, how to pick between the 8 ones and everything, and which ones to avoid, which ones not to avoid. So if you guys want that, let our team know in the chat. They'll grab it for you as well too, for last week's replay. But going back to here, where am I at? Right, there's going to be 4 UC PIQ questions as well too, and there's also going to be additional comments, right? There's 2 of them. There's the academic one, and then there's the additional one. The academics is 550 characters. Additional comments is 550 words, right? Those are the 2 differences of the 2 as well. Okay, so that's the key over here, and that's kind of what the UCs look for. So from the UCs, that's what they're looking for. Specific UCs, and this is both UC and CSU. Right? So they both ask for this, they both ask for that. So that's kind of the similar differences of the 2 apps. That's why when we prep students for the UCs and the Cal States, we do it together because the first few pages are identical to each other is the thing. Okay? Hopefully that was helpful as well too. Let's see. Here's a fun question from the from Facebook. All right. Question. If the student is not within the top 9% of their high school, can they still go to top UCs? And the answer is absolutely as well too, right? Keep in mind, top 9%, what this family is probably referring to, 9% is the eligibility in the local context, the egelloC, right? So California, if you're a California resident, this applies to you. If you're not, close your ears for like 2 minutes, right? So basically what it says is California will guarantee, or let me do the correct wording, will find you a spot if there are spots, if you are top 9% of your high school or top 9% of the state. The 9% of the states, an algorithm is like based on your grades times a certain metric, and you'll find out you did or did not get it, right? Number 1. Or if you're top 9% of your high school, you'd qualify as well too. For people who say my school doesn't rank, they do. They have to figure out this number out, right? So it just they just don't tell you what it is because again, people nowadays get all mad and all sad about numbers like that. But That's reality, right? People are ranked in the system, right? Is pretty much that. So that's pretty much what the ranking is. What does that mean if you get it? And by the way, how do you know you get it? Is some schools will tell you. They'll send you a letter. They'll let you know. But if no one told you, how you find out is when you submit your UC application. Give it a week. When you come back, when you log in again to view, you can't edit anymore. But when you view, there will be a box that says egelloC checked on it. And if it's checked, you are egelloC, right? It just means you are either top 9% of your high school or top 9% of the state. What does that mean from a tactical point of view? That means the UCs will find you a spot if there are spots at the UCs. That does not mean you're guaranteed to LA, not guaranteed to Berkeley, not guaranteed UCI, not Santa Barbara, not Davis as well too. The only school I've seen this happen at is Merced. And there's way less this past year than it was ever before. So that means as the years go on and on and on, this is kind of starts to go away because every school is going to fill up and there's no room left to take it to anyone else is the key as well too. So keep that in mind. That's kind of what the egelloC is. But if you don't hit it, you can definitely get into this as well too. Okay. Over here on the Instagram, is it Hosey? Hosey has a really good question. Should you still take the SAT? Right? So I think I just answered you. You may have missed my previous question about this, but the question is a few things, right? First off, ask yourself, basically what colleges are you considering is the first one, right? So if you're applying to a test required, there's 3 types of them out there. If you go into test required school, yes, you have to. If you go into test optional, maybe as well too. And then if you're doing test blind, right? No, right, is the thing. So test requires, like, think of the not UCs. Think of Stanford, think of some of the Ivy schools. They are test required schools, means you have to take it. You have to submit it to have a complete application. Test blind means they don't care at all. You get a perfect score of 0, means nothing to them as well too, right? The most popular ones UCs. UCs, Cal States are test blind. Optional is majority. I think 80-90% of schools are actually optional schools. What that means is that if you want to submit it and you have a high enough score, then they're going to go ahead and give you, they're going to go ahead and consider it into your application. However, if you don't have a high enough score, then it's not going to hurt you either. It's not going to hurt you if you have a bad score or no score. It's like, cool, they move on to something else, the other factors to look at in your application itself. Okay, so that's going to be the yes, good, no good as well too. Hopefully that was helpful for you over here. Q&A, Zoom. We got a Zoom. Oop. Right. All right. All right. So this one, big question. A lot of words. My son is a rising senior, got an internship this summer, which turns out to be 1 to 2 hours per week for 5 weeks. Is only listening to company working meetings, so it doesn't look like he's getting a project. How does he make the most of this for application? Summer experience, disappointed, not promised. He's trying to make the most of it. Great question as well too, right? So again, keep in mind, that's how life works as well too, right? We think one thing ends up being something else as well too. Doesn't mean we're like, oh no, so no, right? Keep in mind, I tell students this all the time, right? It's not about having the exact resources, right? It's about being resourceful with what you can do as well. So if I was this student, right? If I was this student, I would be like, cool, what can I do, right? I'm talking to people. Why don't I message everyone or email? So these are ideas. These are Coach Tony ideas, by the way. Don't. If you get in trouble, don't bring it back to me, right? But if it was me and I got the internship, it sounds like a pretty cool opportunity as well too, right? I'd reach out to the people I'm in the meetings with to learn more, right? I'm going to go ahead and be selfish and ask anything and everything I can. I'm going to see, how can I be useful to the members on this team as well too? Because again, the hardest part is getting your foot in the door. You got your foot in the door already. Now leverage it, right? What's something you can do with this as well too, right? Ask, hey, I want to do more, right? More. What can I do, right? As well too. But keep in mind, That's hard because again, they don't know you. You're a stranger. So you gotta demonstrate this, right? So instead, find something you can contribute on and just be proactive. Be proactive with that as well too. If you guys have watched, it's on Netflix now. The Intern. It was a really good movie as well too. It's Anne Hathaway is the actress, and the old guy, don't know his name, right? But really good movie. And then there's a scene where like she goes and then her table is full of like packages or full of things, and she keeps looking at it. She's like, I'll get to it one day. I'll get to it one day. I'll get to it one day. And one day it's cleared out, and she's like, oh my goodness, thank you so much. Blah blah blah, and you find out it's the intern, which is the funny part. Is the old man. The old man is the one who did it without being asked. He wasn't asked to do it. He went out of his way to do that as well too. You want to reciprocate. I call it, be like the old man, right? Go and do something. What's something you can do? Because again, you're in the door. That's the hardest part, is getting in the door. You're in the door now. What's something you can do to be proactive about this stuff and make it your own experience, right? Make it your experience. Because at the end of the day, right? Robert De Niro, there you go. At the end of the day, make it your experience. Because when you talk about this, when we talk about it in your applications or your essays, right? In your essay, when you talk about this, right? What you did is not as important as what you learned, how it made you who you were, and who you have become as a result. That's the big takeaway line right here, is that what you end up doing at the internship is not going to be that special, right? And other kids will do the similar things well too. It's how it made you who you are. That's the big takeaway right over here. Okay, that's the big stuff. So make sure you focus on this. Okay, so hopefully that was answering the question there. Okay, cool. All righty. All right, we got a question from YouTube. Thank you, Cindy, as well too. Cindy's amazing. She's on our team. So his mom or dad, a parent asked, last week my son got a 1490. I need to recalibrate my reach and targets. What California and outer states would you give examples of target and reach? We just talked about this a little earlier as well too. The key here is that, but you're right, thank you for the thank you as well too. So reach schools, right, are basically, so the easy metric. There's a bunch of more, like our team does a very calculated thing that they run through. I'm not as fancy as our team. They have a really cool algorithm. For me, I use basic stuff, right? So basic stuff, I look at your GPA plus test scores if you have it, right? And then what I look at is I compare this with the colleges is the thing, right? Number one, if this with you is greater than, right, the college average, right? So look up the 50th, look at that school average. If you're greater than the average, this is a safe school for you, like a safety school for you as well too. If you look at your numbers, you had a 4.0 and everything, and the school's average of 3.0, that's really, you're pretty much solid to go there. Again, caveat, low star next to all this now, right? Does not mean you're guaranteed. It just means a very, very high likelihood of getting in, right? Is it? Number two, if U is equal to the college average, right? That's usually what targets are, right? As well too. So whatever your GPA plus your 1490, if that's kind of what the schools are doing, right? That's the target. And reach schools, if you are less than the college average, or right, the college is basically a top 20, like a 20% admin rate or less, right? Then these are all reach schools as well too. So no matter how strong your stats are, if the admin rate is less than 20%, it's an automatic reach to kind of think about that as well too. Okay, so that's gonna be that's gonna be the kind of quick stats over here. Okay. Someone says in the chat, how do you take in consideration, this is from Zoom, thank you Zoom for jumping in. Question here is, how do you take, by the way, I have room for 2 more questions. If you guys want to sneak a question in, feel free to sneak it in on TikTok, Instagram, on Facebook, on YouTube, on Zoom, Twitch. I haven't seen a Twitch question yet. Oh, I lied. There's a Twitch question. I lied. There's not a Twitch question. as well too. So we'll do it later as well too, right? So next one, how do you take consider the average from our high school, which is different than the national average? This is a great question, right? The reason why is this is exactly how admission works. For those who don't know, I was actually a former UC Berkeley admissions reader myself, so I'm sharing stuff behind the scenes, right? Don't rat me out, I might get in trouble, right? Kinda, right? But the big thing is that we're not comparing you against every single person applying. We kind of do, but it's not a huge factor because every area is different because of local context as well too. We have students, for example, if anyone here from the Bay Area, if you're from the California Bay Area, right? Or if you're from like the New Jersey area, fortunately, unfortunately, you are in the two of the most competitive regions in all of the United States, right? Is the thing. So how admission works, admissions will compare you against your region. That's how we were divided into regions. I read in the region. For those who don't know, I actually read the Bay Area, so I know these competitive schools really well. It actually was a reader for these schools as well too. So your region. However, your region is also too broad, right? So Bay Area is still broad for families in the sense you can think like if I go like 5 minutes this way, 5 minutes this way to two different high schools, they might be some might be bigger than like more competitive than my school, some might be less. So it's not even fair there. So the fairest comparison we like to have our students think about is compare little pro tip, compare yourself against your high school, right? And here's why that's the best and fairest comparison is because your high school technically gives the same amount of opportunities to every student, right? So it's fair that if there's a student taking 4 APs, you could have taken 4 APs if you wanted to, right? It's your choice to take it or not take it or do whatever it is well do. That's kind of why your high school is the fairest comparison to you. And that's kind of what we tell our families to make sure that you do. So if you're aiming, so the strategy here is if you're aiming for top colleges, right? Compare yourself to the top student at your high school. So if you're at going to aim for top score, they're taking 4 APs. We want 4 APs. If they're taking 6, we want 6 as well too. Does that mean you have to literally take 6? No, there's a lot of strategies we teach earlier. We talked about dual enrollment. That's how I would integrate that, by the way, to get the 5 or 4 or 5 or 6 without stressing yourself out is the key. But that's kind of who you want to compare yourself against, right? Compare yourself against your high school is the fairest comparison. It's kind of much easier than knowing like every single person applying as well too. Okay. Cool. All right. Let's have time for one more question. I have time for one more. Any good final questions before I have to bounce for today? All right, this will be a fun one. This will be a fun one. Someone asks, how do I know what classes I should sign up for the next year? This will be a fun one because this I think can apply to pretty much everyone as well too, right? I'm going to run down really quick in 3 minutes what this is going to be, because this answer depends on a few factors, right? So what classes should you do? It depends on 3 things. Number 1, the first thing is I want to know what colleges you're aiming for, because if you're aiming for a top 25 college, it'll be different advice than if you're aiming for a local like state school, for example, right? Something else I would want to know is your major or pathway. I call it pathway because, again, as a high school student, you don't know what major you want to be yet officially. So what pathway are you going down? And then that's pretty much it. Oh, and what grade you're in, because each grade has different things. So running through each of these in all the different forms, right? So first one, let's say you're in 9th grade. Right? If you're in 9th grade, right, typically just take not a lot of variation over here is the big one. When it comes to colleges, if you're aiming for a top school, you want to max out the rigor there. So if let's say if you're aiming for like a Harvard, a UCLA, a Stanford, right? Then if your school offers an honors class for this, you want to take that honors class for that. Rigor is the main thing you want to optimize for. Okay. Major pathway, nothing officially yet. The only thing is if you're interested in engineering, computer science, right? Hopefully your math is going to move fast, meaning you're going to try to hit as many as you can in this journey itself. Okay, so that's good. The big thing for 9th grade. One of the pro tips, by the way, if anyone here is an incoming 9th grader, here's a hack to help you guys save some money, right? I mentioned this earlier, dual enrollment, right? Dual enrollment, taking a college class as a high school student. If you start taking it now as in ninth grade first semester, classes are only one semester long. You take one class per semester all the years, you'll be able to finish at least 30 college units by the time you graduate from high school. What that means is when you're applying to college, you apply as a first year. Apply as first year as well too, right? But once you get into that school, your units kick in automatically. And once it kicks in automatically, your 30 units moves in, you jump straight to sophomore year standing. You could graduate in 3 years if you wanted to there, right? So when it comes to that, parents, if they graduate in 3 years, I just saved you 1 year of tuition. That's $40,000. Boom, saved as well too, right? If you start in ninth grade, and you be a little more aggressive with it, right? Take 60 units, right? It's like one class first year, then you start doubling up year 2, 3, 4, right? Then you can get 60 units. You apply as a first year still, because again, you didn't graduate from high school yet. You're still a first year. You're guaranteed 4 years, but you have 2 years done. Jump straight to junior stand. You can jump in as a junior. You could graduate in 2 years, graduate before they turn 20. And I saved you guys 2 years of tuition. So if you guys want to donate 1% of that to me, feel free to do that as well too. Right? So that's ninth graders. In 10th grade, right? In 10th grade as well, this is what the year when most people start having AP level courses in their schools. Some schools, by the way, Bay Area, New Jersey, they start APs ninth grade right away. But for a lot of other folks, you usually start in 10th grade, right? So you want to start, again, taking APs, again, if you're aiming for top schools, right? So top colleges, right? If you're not aiming for a top school, don't stress yourself out as well too, right? But if you are aiming for, this is kind of the strategy over here. Then in terms of the pathways, this is when you start introducing the classes that you want to do. There's 3 pathways out there. There's going to be the you can't see my screen anymore. There you go, right? There's the engineering computer science is number 1. Number 2 is sciences and business. And number 3 is humanities, right? Every major you can think of fits under one of these 3 buckets. I can't think of any other major that doesn't fit in any of these 3 buckets as well too. So every major you can think of will fit under one of these 3. If you are interested in engineering computer science, the goal for you by the time you graduate high school is to go past calculus BC, meaning we want to hit multivariable calculus, we want to hit linear algebra, we want to hit differential equations. All right. If engineering, right, we also want to have the AP physics series 1, C, E, all that as well too, right? If you're in the sciences, right, you want to go to at least Calc BC, if not one more, multivariable is what it looks like, right? And if bio, go to, again, the biochem. The thing I talked about earlier is kind of what you want to do, right? Is it? And humanities, max out rigor. That's pretty much it. No specific things here, right? So you want to start taking your pathway classes to go down that path as well too. And that's pretty much it. That's 10th grade as well too, right? And then in terms of 11th grade, same concept. 11th grade, right? Same as 10th. Keep in mind, zooming in, right? Keep in mind that colleges will see all summer grades. So use summer as an opportunity to kind of speed up and do more and add more to your plate as well too. I do recommend taking summer after 11th as well too, because that's this last set of grades that the college will see. They'll see 12th grade classes. They won't see 12th grade grades. That's the thing, right? 12th grade, right? You want to keep the rigor high. The big mistake a lot of people do, like, oh, I worked really hard, time to relax my senior year. Do not relax your senior year. Again, if you're aiming for top schools, right? Again, if you're not aiming for top schools, ignore what I just told you and you're fine, right? But if you are going to aim for top schools, keep the rigor high. That's going to be the key for you guys over here. And then finish strong. But then they won't see your grades as the key, okay? Cool. That is pretty much it for me today. Hope you guys enjoyed that. We spent another good hour together on this session. If you guys enjoyed this, let me know down below wherever you're joining me, and I might see you guys again next Monday, right? So for everyone here, peace out TikTok, peace out Instagram, peace out Zoom, peace out Facebook group, peace out Twitch.